You become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Now, I don't know about you, but sadly I don't live around many self-made millionaires, billionaires, investors, startup entrepreneurs, but of course I would love to meet with them, hang around them and learn from them. And if you want the same, then I got the solution for you. Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Kai. Today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite free time activities. You guessed it, listening to podcasts. Now for me, podcasts is one of the greatest ways to really gain knowledge and ideas from one of the greatest peoples around the world that I don't have personally access to, but that I can listen to for free and learn through interviews and talks and tips they give on the podcast, and that I can apply to my own life, business and investing success. And best of all, because it's audible, I can listen to it on the go. Now I hear a lot of people say, but Kai, I don't have time to listen to podcasts. Now time is a question of priority. All of us have 24 hours in a day. You look at people like Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos running multiple businesses, they have the same 24 hours a day and yet they manage to do these things. So I always think it's a matter of priority. If you really want to listen and find the time and dedicate towards personal growth and development, you will find so. If of course you prioritize binging 2 hours of the latest Netflix series, well, that's a choice you have to make. But for me personally, I find many spots during the day that I listen to podcasts. Starting off from the morning, even when I shave, I put on the podcast, that's 5-10 minutes here. When I hit the gym, I listen in the beginning to some music to get me into the groove. And then the second part of the workout, I usually listen to podcasts. And whenever I drive anywhere, you can bet I have a podcast with me. And it's so simple, you don't even have to download, you just stream it from your player. My favorite player of choice is Pocket Cast app, which is amazing and I can really recommend you. But there's endless apps out there that you can use. I used to read much more books in the past or listen to audiobooks and music of course. But I really found that podcast gave me the greatest satisfaction to listen to, because I can choose any topic I want to listen to and I really try to vary them, not just business, but sometimes about mindset or health or any other new industry that I haven't learned about. And within a matter of half an hour to 1 hour, I can really absorb the person's knowledge and insight. Some people call it infotainment, and it is to a certain extent, because it's easy listening in the background. It's not something you have to sit down and take notes to. But definitely I make sure that each podcast I listen to, I will come up at least with one nugget of knowledge that I will write down and try to implement into my life, whatever way, in terms of investments or personal growth. But it's important to remember one thing that you will try to implement into your own life, and by doing that, over time you're building stronger habits and become a stronger and better person in the process. So with this, let's dive right into my list of favorite podcasts I listen to on a daily basis. The first one on the list is We Study Billionaires. Now that's one of my all-time favorite podcasts. It really goes deep on various investing opportunities, analyzing the markets in terms of stocks, in terms of cryptocurrency and any other investment opportunities. It's a combination of interviewing great investors. They interviewed some of the greatest investors alive, and you really learn from their knowledge of how they allocate their own money. But at the same time, they convey it in a way that's very easy to comprehend and understand, which I like. It's not too technical or too complicated. It's digestible, 30 to 45 minute episodes, and really engaging. And they really deliver it in a fun and humorous way, which I really enjoy. As I said, easy listening, infotainment, yet you always learn something. They're giving you new perspectives on what you can do with your money and how to become a better investor in the process. So honestly, definitely one of my all-time favorites. I always make sure to listen to it and I always learn something new. Next up, we have The Diary of a CEO with Stephen Bartlett, which is one of my all-time favorite podcasts as well. I always make sure to listen to it. Stephen Bartlett is a self-made entrepreneur. He built up one of the biggest social media agencies in the world, then sold it, and now really focuses on delivering value, deep thoughts, contents. He just came up with his own book. And honestly, those podcasts have some of the most refreshing and different perspectives on life and on business that you've ever heard. And honestly, always something deep and inspiring that I get out of his podcasts. And I can guarantee you that you will get deep insights and new knowledge from his podcasts. Again, the good thing here is not just about money or business. He sometimes also talks about health, especially mental health, which I think is very important for everyone to listen to and work with. It gives you a more holistic perspective on life and the business, and his voice is just wow, it's something I can listen to for hours. So definitely give it a listen, you won't be disappointed. Alright, next up we have the Garyvee audio experience with Gary Vaynerchuk. Now this must be one of the most energy-packed podcasts you will ever listen to. And quite frankly, it's probably one of the reasons why I started this YouTube channel, because Garyvee always talks about putting yourself out there, at building a personal brand. He does it in such an inspirational way that I always get fired up after listening to him. And I understand that he can be controversial because he uses a lot of swear words and cussing, so it can be a little bit difficult to listen to in the beginning. It took me a while to get his way of communicating, but once you do, the value and content he delivers is just unbelievable, and honestly, you're gonna get so much out of it. It's one of the podcasts I make sure I never skip because it's value and energy packed from the get-go. Next one on the list is The School of Greatness with Lewis Howes. He used to be a professional football athlete and turned lifestyle entrepreneur. What I love about him, he's not trying to be the expert and jack of all things, but he's one of the greatest interviewers, inviting some of the most incredible guests you get to listen to. And they come from all walks of life: actors, sports people, business people, nutrition experts. And again, by listening to them, you really get so much knowledge and insights and tips out of them. Even in parts of life that I was maybe not interested in before, I learn a new thing. So when I meet somebody new from that industry, I have something to talk about and relate to. So it really broadens your intellectual horizon, and honestly, just a joyful guy to listen to, and really, again, short episodes, and definitely recommend it. Give it a go. Next one on the list, Investing for Beginners. Well, obviously, this channel is all about personal finance and investing, so this podcast is really good for you if you're interested in that subject, because it really delivers financial information in a very easy, digestible way, from basic knowledge to more contemporary developments in the markets, etc., and packages in a way that's really digestible, easy to understand. If you're a beginner or if you're a bit more advanced, you will still learn something new, like I do, and that's why I keep on listening to it, because even listening to something that you thought you knew already in a different perspective can give you a new idea and way of looking at a particular subject or way of doing things, and definitely on my list of must-listening podcasts. And lastly, we have Snacks Daily. That's a daily podcast from Robinhood, which is really about analyzing the stock markets and crypto markets. It's really geared towards millennials. It's very fun and engaging, super short episodes, but value packed, of the latest developments in the markets, in companies, of course mostly based on US companies, because it's brought to you by the Robinhood app, which is a trading app over in the US. But again, if you're an investor anywhere around the world with a focus on the US markets, which I have myself, within a span of 5 to 10 minutes, I get so many insights out of how the market is trending, which are stocks to look at, and what are upcoming trends and developments that I need to know in order to capitalize on them and make better investment decisions. Honestly, Snacks Daily is probably one of the first things I listen to as soon as the episode comes out, so I have the latest information and can do something with it. So if you're serious about investing, especially in the US, this should be a must listen for you, and make sure you capitalize on those investment opportunities. So there you have it, guys. My 6 favorite podcasts that I always listen to. Of course, I have many more, but those are the 6 ones I never miss. And the little secret hack, actually, when I do listen to them, I listen to all my podcasts not on 1.0 normal speed, but actually you can change in the app the speed, like you can on YouTube as well. So I usually listen on 1.2, which basically saves me 20% of the length of the podcast. So that's valuable time. So I can manage to squeeze in more podcasts and as such absorb more knowledge, which is amazing. With this, guys, I thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, really appreciate it, and let me know in the comments what is your favorite podcast and maybe something new for me to put on my list. Stay awesome, stay blessed, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Ciao, ciao.